now. Thank you very much for everybody joining us so promptly. We haven't had 60 minutes meeting for some time. In between, we had 8 Ukrainian crisis meetings, but I believe we are now in some sort of a stable situation, at least with Ukraine. Therefore, we can afford to have a 60-minute meeting. Welcome, everybody, and over to you, Mark.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I think just by way of update, Kuba, I think you've got the general principles sent back, haven't you? Which I've got to have a look at as well with, I think, all of the drafting committee. So I think I think from a sort of a cursory glance through, I think they're in quite good shape, and we should be able to, finalize this process fairly quickly. Just on a Ukrainian note. Carsten went kindly to down to Romania and to Poland in relation to our setting up of these Columbia sanctuaries. We're setting up these hotels with about 25 rooms, which are secured with security guards for families and victims of the war to stay for up to 6 months. And Carsten went down and set all of this up in connection with that. And again, hands up, declaring my sort of initial interest in mental health support solutions, but mental health support solutions, which my partner set up about 2 years ago. She's now out of that, but she set it up. They've got 320 Ukrainian psychiatrists mobilized to deal with the victims of the war. So if any of you want to direct, this is on a charitable basis, and Columbia is helping to fund this, I hasten to add. But there's literally an army of psychiatrists who can give valuable support to wives and children coming over who need that, whether they're staying in our sanctuaries or any other safe haven for the time being. Really good thing. And I think it's just a nice message to to come out of that dreadful overall story. So if you want details, get in touch with Mental Health Support Solutions, and they can assign some of these people to your organizations, or indeed just generally anybody who needs it. That's all I've got, Kuba. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will, Mark, actually follow up on that, on mental health. 320 psychologists. Wow, that's a very interesting one. Thank you.
And these are Ukrainians as well. So Charles Watkins, who runs mental health, he's one of his colleagues is Ukrainian, and they reached out and got all of the psychiatrists who'd managed to make it out of Ukraine before the borders were closed, and they're now giving this much needed help. And I think Tradewinds are going to do something about this next week, but it's there for everybody. And we as an organization are helping to support that effort, not just in line with our own seafarers and their families, but just generally because we wanted to try and find some real real steps we could take rather than just throwing money into a sort of a bottomless pit. I don't think money's the problem there. It's actually doing things that are worthwhile, and organizing it. So I think there's enough money around. It's just doing sort of taking tangible steps to bring help. So and the credit goes to Carsten on that. He went down and sorted this out, and I think it's a really good thing.
Oh, well done. Thank you for doing that. And absolutely, I will obviously speak at the stakeholders meetings, and I will advertise that as well. And I fully agree what you are saying about the money, because I think as far as resources, the financial resources are concerned, I think we are all more or less sorted. The problem is here to get the on the ground support, but also to reach out to the seafarers family and tell them that actually there is help and support. I have to report to you that over last week, we have not been contacted by any family, and we do have accommodation available, and I am telling everybody that we can help. We also have some very good contacts in Romania, and if there is a demand, especially for the people who are now, Mark, you are saying that you are providing for these sanctuaries for 6 months. Bishops is providing for 7 days, for example. But then whenever we reach the deadline and families want to move out of that, then I think we are ready. We've got members who are prepared. We've got accommodation. We've got houses, apartments, and so on and so forth. I was just contacted today. We've got an apartment, eight bedroom apartment. I think no, not eight, 3 bedroom apartment for 8 people, available in Poland, for example. If there is anybody who wants to move the family there, and
the key, Cooper. I don't want to teach you to suck eggs. You know better than me. But the key is secure. You know, the most important element of this was having a security guard on the front door, making sure you know that only those that are staying there can come in, and you know that's essential because of the horrific stories that we've heard. So the secured aspect is vital.
No, absolutely agree. But then after all of this, when they settle and they really want to get on with their lives, next step, and we are ready for it as well.
Sure.
So as you can see, phase 1, which is get out of Ukraine. Phase 2, first initial settlement somewhere, and phase 3, when you really want to move on, start working, get kids to school, get your husband come back from sea, for example, and so on and so forth. So I believe we have discussed, we've got all the phases under control now, and we are ready to proceed. So
just
thank you.
one more thing before I disappear. Or stop. The COVID, of course, we keep forgetting about COVID, or we don't forget about COVID. It's still raging. I'm a walking example. One thing that struck me this week was a sort of a ray of light. Was the fact that on our fleet, 75% of our seafarer pool is now vaccinated, which was of course a celebration for us. We make it compulsory now for seafarers joining vessels to be vaccinated, and I don't know how many others do that. It was actually accepted relatively easily. And 75, and we still get huge disruption. Of course we do. We're still seeing crews, not vessels, not just once but twice on crew changes. Someone creeping through the net, or an infection creeping through the net, and then going taking the whole crew out. But it's definitely, you know, something we still got to focus on massively, and all too easy to forget with this other news taking over.
Okay, so moving on swiftly to that one, I've just circulated shore leaves, and that's shore leaves document taking into account the COVID. So please have a good look. You did participate in creation of that because you were consulted, and ICS prepared this document, and final version has been circulated this morning to all of us. I did follow up on the recommendations, if not to call that order, and I have to report to all of us that Softcomflot is not a member of InterManager anymore. So I have to say that as a company, obviously, but we did have individuals who we befriended, and with hard hearts, I have to say goodbye to all of them. So you won't see them on our meetings anymore. Softcomflot is gone now. Shore leaves, I told you. Mariupol, I don't know whether you are following. InterManager is playing a role here because we do have a contacts in Russia, especially with ITF, and we are participating whenever it's possible. Now ICS is taking a lead on 6 ships which are in Mariupol, and unfortunately one of them, or as per other reports, 2 of them have been shelled and there was injury on board. Our report says that crew of this particular container vessel is taken care of by Ukrainian forces. Also, some of you are reporting to us that families are very concerned because seafarers are reporting that families have been taken or offered escape from Ukraine through Russia. And if you've got any contacts and if you are concerned about your family, then please report to us. We will try to help and assist with this case. Allegedly, it's not too bad. Russians do allow Ukrainians to go through Russia and then fly out to the countries wherever you want them to fly. But there were signals, but when I asked for details and we wanted to get in touch, we were not given anything more. So I don't know how acute this problem is. If it is, then bear in mind that we do have contacts in Russia and we are working with them, with anybody, actually, all partners and so on. There was another transport from Odessa, third one organized by ITF, Seafarers Trust, and V-ships. They went to Romania and they are there now, quite happy and safe. And what else I needed to tell you? Yes, Mark already mentioned, and principles. We are moving on that. I've started sending messages again to our Drafting committee, I can see that members are traveling at the moment, so I don't, Mark, expect very quick response from them because I had bounce backs. But the project is back, and the discussion with RightShip was very interesting, but also obviously with Alpha Marine. So we will continue with that. I'm looking forward to get feedback from you. Okay, I think that's all I have at the moment. I'm just checking here. Yes, and I would like to open the floor. If there are any comments, any suggestions, anything you would like us to discuss, please, by all means. Silence. I'm not sure it's good or bad, actually. Okay, this is what I feel at the moment, actually. Then, as I was saying, I think the situation is more or less under control. That gives me a permission to move away from Ukraine. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on everything. I will be there and so on and so forth. But let's get back to the usual stuff which we have to do as members of InterManager have other issues, and I will start involving you and engaging members to things. Mark, I haven't heard from Ferrari anymore. I've sent them a message, so I'll chase again and I'll copy you if it's okay.
You're starting to read my mind, Kubak. No, I'll chase up. I think they definitely want to join, so they will. I'll chase them up now, straight after this.
Very good, thank you. And Roger's story was also helping us here a bit, spreading the word and going around and saying how good InterManager is. So Roger, I haven't heard from our friend yet, although he has been on a call, I suppose. And that was all here, I think. I'm just double checking anything. Okay, if there is nothing else, then I would suggest then we've got another meeting, 60-minute meeting in 2 weeks' time. Next one, I will definitely have one of our associate members or full member joining us with 15 minutes. This one was too short notice, so we couldn't organize that. But I will try to get somebody to speak to us. I've got a list of people. And I think maybe one thing which I've forgotten now, I did receive a message regarding COVID, not sanctions, what do we call it? COVID restrictions being lifted actually in India now as well. So it looks like countries are following European example and relaxing things. Singapore, but I think I mentioned that last week, sorry. Singapore is now considering relaxation, but we haven't heard the official line yet. As soon as I do get it, I will send it over to you. So that's all from me. I'm pausing for a second. If there is anybody who would like to say anything, any homework for me for next? Nothing. Mark, last word.
Thanks very much. And you know, it's sorry, isn't it? It's sorry to say farewell to Sovconflot for the time being. As we always say, and I'm sure everyone says the same thing. This is a Russia war, not a Russian war, and all of us have got friends not only within Sovconflot, but also many Russian friends who have been wrongly affected by this and tarnished with the same tar brush or whatever the saying is. So sorry to see Sovconflot go, but I'm sure in the fullness of time they'll be back. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks, Kuba.